What's up, everyone? It's Tweek or Davin.
Whoa. Switching it up. It's Chuck or Charles.
Marcus is in the hot seat every week. You never know what Gavin's going to say. It's Matt or Haz. By the way, what's going on, guys? It's good to see y'all. Obviously, you can see we don't have Marcus this week. We miss him. He's in the middle of moving his entire family, so it's taking a little while. It's a process. Moving always is, especially when you got a kid, a wife, all that stuff. So we missed you, Marcus, man. Missed you last week. I missed you again this week, but we'll catch up soon. Yeah. What's going on, guys? I wasn't here last week. Hope you guys. I listened to the episode though. It was great. Loved it. It's kind of a weird thing because like calling out sick to the episode or whatever, you get to listen to it later. It's like you get rewarded for not showing up, which is like not how it should work, but it's pretty nice. What's going on?
Yeah, I mean, there's been a lot of Smash lately. Some good Smash. We had Genesis Black. We have Watch the Throne coming up. We had a couple other like California locals happen around that time, and we also had Honeypot happen. So there's a lot of Smash. I watched a little bit of everything. I've also been playing a bit of Smash. I'm just feeling good. I'm excited to see everyone this weekend. And I'm doing all right. How about you, Charles?
I'm not gonna sugarcoat it.
Yeah.
Watch the Throne has been very stressful, but it's for the people. So by the people, for the people, right? So I'm really excited for it coming up. Obviously, we're getting towards the home stretch part, so a lot of stuff coming in. My merch came in. Yo, let's go.
Yeah, look at that.
Flash. Tweek Talks.
Let's
go.
You got Diddy on the throne, the Belmont axe, the Marth sword, L Marcus, and the fox gun at the foot of the throne. I love that design for B. She did such a good job.
Yeah, it's great.
Check them out. They're still in the store. The store's still live, by the way. We're trying to sell those. Yes. And for Watch the Throne, one of the important pieces is the jackets. The bomber jackets are limited edition. We only have so many of them, so make sure you buy them ASAP because, they're going pretty fast.
Absolutely.
Yes. To my understanding, we're only selling about like 100, I think. So the first 100 is where that's the limited part about it. So if you guys are interested in the bomber, that's essentially like the big piece of merchandise that we put a lot of time in terms of design and stuff like that. Obviously, like all the other stuff, put a lot of time into designing as well. But that is essentially like the, I guess, best piece of merch. I guess it depends on what you need, right? Depends on what kind of merch you like. But we tried to have a little bit of everything for everyone there. So yeah, but I mean, home stretch coming through. I mean, very stressful. We're having a lot more meetings and stuff like that, but we want to make sure this event goes great. And so far, so good. So a lot of work, but everything's looking good. Can't wait to fly in a couple days from now. And I don't know, it's crazy that it's this close. I don't know. We've been planning this tournament for so long that actually a couple of days away from us like flying in and actually
it's been a while. Yeah,
it's on ground. And it's going to be a great way to end the year. I know Smash has been going through a lot the past couple of years, but I have a lot of faith in this event, and I think everyone's going to come together and have a great time. And there's a lot of things I'm excited for, too. Like watching Bloom compete against all these top-level players, right? I think Bloom has had his shot against specific players at specific tournaments, but at this invitational-style bracket, you get so many matches with top-level players, and Bayo is a character that's kind of been on the uptick. Right, we've been seeing a lot more Bayo coming out from like Bloom and Lima, and even some other Bayo players at other tournaments as well. So like Frog and there's a bunch of other Bayo players, amazing Bayo players. So
it's cool that Bayo has a spot.
Yeah, it is cool considering Bayo was like one of the characters that we were like, wow, I mean, could be like one of the worst characters in the game, but I mean, eventually ABK started getting spammed, and well, look at where we are now. And I want to point out we only have one character duplicate. It's probably one of the worst character duplicates. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it, right? Like we have 2 Sonix, but I mean, other than that, amazing character diversity. So, and I mean, Sonic is a strong character, so it's no surprise to see like 2 Sonix qualifying. Look, we didn't invite them, right? They have to earn it. They earned it. They got in. All right, that's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sonix at this point will be an invite no matter what. Like, just he's like top 3,
forward,
whatever. Exactly.
Yeah, this year, I think
we
Sonix
made the list. Right.
Because when we can even talk about when we made the list. It was like maybe Q2 of this year. It was after Proto had the amazing run at Summit. So we like thought about different players and stuff like that. So when we thought about this list, that's why Sonix wasn't a base invited player, because I feel like this year is when Sonix really proved like, oh, hey, I am top 5 skill wise and result wise, right?
to our point, or to our credit, Mia also was not an invited player. Mia had to earn their way in to the bracket. It was through SmashCon, right?
Yes, SmashCon, yeah.
Yeah. So at times things have, and we see it all the time in Smash. Like from the beginning of the year to the end of the year, shit changes so much, man. It really does. It's like seasons, dude. It never stays the same. Everything be changing, but I'm so excited to see you guys. I haven't seen you guys since Jesus. When's the last time I saw you guys in person?
SmashCon, maybe.
Holy shit! Yeah,
Might
might be
SmashCon.
Were you at Gommel? Was it Gommel?
I was not at Gommel. No,
I was not at Gommel. No.
Oh wait, yeah, I was. Me and you were at Gommel, Gavin.
Yeah, I think that's when
we're on the cruise. Yeah, that's the last time I saw you.
Like
no, not Gommel. I'm sorry. I was thinking of
Battle BC.
Battle BC is what I was thinking of, but SmashCon was more recent than that. It's been a minute, I think, is the point.
Yeah, sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. Yeah, the Canadian cruise ship threw me off. You know, like it's crazy that 2 tournaments have that. It's yeah.
Oh, you got mixed. You got mixed. Yeah,
I got mixed by the Canadian cruise ships, as we all do. It was it's been a minute in NorCal and Guildhouse. I've said it so many times, one of my favorite venues. And I watched Genesis Black obviously this weekend. It looked amazing. Like I'm so excited to be in that venue for a whole weekend. Everything looks so good. Nirvana Soul, I'm just gonna give you a tip right now. Anyone who's in the area, anyone knows that area, incredible coffee joint. The vibes immaculate, very very good. Great music being played. Me, Marcus, and B basically camp it out every time we go in that area and we're together. It is incredible. They have great waffles. I go there for the coffee. So yeah, it's good stuff.
The coffee there is insanely good.
It's great. It's so very good. It's such a vibe, man. It just makes me like, just thinking about it makes me feel good. It's so cold here too. I'm so excited to get the hell out of New England for.
That's what I was telling you. I was on a walk with B and I was like, yeah, it's going to be nice to get warmer weather for a couple days.
Well, isn't it cold in NorCal? That's what everyone in NorCal told me.
It doesn't matter. It's going to be warmer than here.
What is cold to you guys?
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
65.
A bad day in NorCal is a good day here. So. But yeah, I guess we could talk about Genesis Black.
Wait, before we go into Genesis Black, we actually started recording the Patreon con, so it's already recorded. But we do still have to shout it out if you guys do, if you guys enjoy the content, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and of course, rate us on Spotify or Apple Podcast. And on top of that, if you want to support us even more, check out our Patreon. For $5 a month, you can get weekly bonus content throughout the month. So we just got done recording we reacted to Walt's video that just came out, which is about a crew battle that Tweek was actually in for North Jersey versus South Jersey. So if you guys are interested in any type of like Smash lore and the Jersey scene has been a huge part of Smash history for quite some time because they're part of Tri-State historically known for being one of the strongest regions throughout the entire world, throughout Smash history. So it was a really fun watch, man. And just seeing all the Smash 4 / early Ultimate homies and stuff like that is so funny.
Yeah, we had to do it. Gavin was literally so distracted while we were trying to film the episode. Like when we started, I was like, dude, let's just do the Patreon stuff first, because he was so excited to watch it. We could hear him turn it on like mid. All right, fine, we get it.
We were like, hey, you can't watch it. We got to react to it.
Yeah, he's like, I can't stop.
Thank you for everyone involved. It made my day. That was really cool. I did not.
Thanks, Walt and the team. W team. Really good content. It was super fun. So check that out on our Patreon. If not, check it out on your own on Walt's channel for sure and subscribe to him. I said it on the Patreon, but he does an amazing job. He's a Melee guy, but he also covers Ultimate very well. Like he does us justice, which I love because I love both scenes as well. So I really appreciate the effort that him and the team put in to those videos, both in production value and loving care for the scene. So W for that whole team there. Anyway, we had a handful of tournaments this weekend. And you know what? Since we're doing this thing where we just talk about the shit that we care about, can I say Loaf rise up, baby? Loaf had an amazing tournament over the weekend.
Yes.
That was Dragon House, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
but
good.
He did reverse Ryo Umeki at Genesis Black as well.
He beat Peaches right now.
He beat the 2 best Peach players. Also, his brother Lucky did great with the plant. I love watching both of y'all play. Benji and Alex, shouts to y'all. Y'all are great. Good job. I know Loaf will be at Watch the Throne just to hang out, but I don't know if...
Nice.
Hopefully both of them. I'm also going to say, I think Plant is cool. Hot take. Mm-hmm. I think Plant... I kind of like
Plant. Plant is cool. Banjo's cool.
Yes. I think I'm just whack. I don't care. I'm down.
Wait, you guys talked about TG last week, Tori Gori?
Yes.
Tori Gori? Yeah, dude.
Crazy player.
You know I'm not a big banjo fan. That is one of my favorite players to watch right there. Holy shit. He's so fun. He is so... His little movement in the air with like the B reverse eggs, B reverse grenade, like... God, it's so fun to watch. Sorry, we're talking about banjo for some reason, but I do love Lucky's plan. He does similar shit though, like similar tricky stuff.
Yeah.
Just in terms of making a character that just move in weird ways that you wouldn't expect from a character at that level on the tier list. But yeah, shout outs to them, man. Like,
yeah, it's pretty aggressive.
Yes.
Which is pretty cool. But yeah, there's a lot of Genesis Black. I guess first off, to start off with the winner, AK winning the whole thing, qualifying for Watch the Throne. And I would say it was a pretty solid bracket run. I think the biggest hiccup was probably Grands, right? But it was still like, I don't think a reset happened. Like, he didn't drop a set.
It did. He got 3-0'd very quickly by Zomba in the winner side. He got 3-0'd. I thought Zomba was going to win.
I don't think the Star GG was reported accurately at first, unless I just was looking wrong. But whatever. I just want to say, like, Snake is a really, really strong character. Like, I'm just watching because AK is clearly like super proficient with Snake, right? I'm just like, damn, playing neutral versus this character is crazy. You know what I mean? Like, it's impressive to just not get chipped away in neutral, and then it's another thing to actually win neutral and not take damage yourself. You know what I mean? Like, it's just fighting Snake well is really impressive, and obviously AK Snake is really impressive. But damn, Snake is such a good tournament character specifically. Like, damn, like that character is really wild.
I think we knew that too, like right out of the gate. I mean, we found that down throw confirm into up tilt like day one. You know, like that was known and has been known. Having a kill confirm out of a grab is amazing, even if it's higher percentages, because Snake does rack up the damage super well. AK is something I saw in his play that I really enjoyed this weekend was his use of down tilt. The way he would either parry use it and get that far nice hitbox and keep up tilt fresh, even at lower percentages when he could. Down tilt and the way he low profile too, specifically against Rob, like forward air, neutral air, using down tilt to maneuver around those moves. I love that. Like, I thought he played so brilliantly. And I think we've all known this about AK for a long time, is that he always has the ability to win these big brackets like this. It's just been a little while since we've seen him do it and take it down. And my favorite part is, since he won, we can get the rematch of him and Chuck at Mafia at Watch the Throne. That's my favorite part. I was scheming. I was rooting for Zomba because I felt very bad that Zomba did not qualify, because I also love watching Zomba play. He was, dude, especially that first set of Grands, he was on fucking fire. He looked unstoppable. I couldn't believe how well he was playing. AK just shut him down.
He's a crazy player, dude.
He really is. And I was like, well, this is a win either way, because if Zomba gets in, W. I want Zomba at an Invitational. I think he beyond deserves it. He's obviously come so close to different summits and different Invitationals and stuff and never got it. But then if AK gets to go, hey, we got the memes coming through. I'm so pumped. Charles versus AK rematch.
Send the memes. Well, we still don't know if we'll have Mafia or not, but nonetheless, I think we'll have memes regardless with AK.
Yeah.
I think he's just, great to have on the couch. He likes talking about Smash, very composed when he's talking about it. So it's going to be very exciting nonetheless. And then, Zomba not qualifying again at another LCQ, man. And like, we know Zomba is so capable and has like so many wins against so much of the players that are already in the
everyone
tournament.
Pretty much.
Yeah. So, I mean, getting second, like, dang, that sucks. And like this tournament was so hard. I mean, like Umeki didn't even get top 8. Like this tournament was really, really difficult. And I mean, I wonder if Zomba is gonna be able to like overcome just it might be just specifically LCQs. I don't know if there's like a specific sense of, I don't know, like nerves that go along with LCQs specifically, right? Where it's just like, okay, this one tournament qualifies me into another tournament. I guess you could talk about that, right, Gavin, a little bit, just the pressure of an LCQ. I don't know if you've ever gone through that, but I know at least like with Panda Cup and some of the other like circuits, those were tournaments that you had to get so much results or do so much things to get into the next phase of the tournament or a qualifying finals or something like that, right? Do you feel like there's an additional layer of nerves that go specifically along with that players have to overcome? Or do you feel like it's all kind of bundled up into one?
I think it's the marathon aspect of it for me personally. Like when I think of like day one of a summit or day one of a big invitational or whatever, and like you work your hardest for the first day, and then it's like, all right, go again tomorrow. It's like any like that type of thing with tournaments is tough, right? Like win or lose, it's like, all right, let's go again tomorrow. You're playing against a bunch of good players, and when I think about like rankings, right? It's like, oh, let's say I just won a big tournament, great, and it's like, damn, if I want to be ranked as high as possible, I can't just stop now. I got to keep it up. You know what I mean? Like that's one of the things I respect about some of my peers that are a little bit more consistent at getting that first place than me. Because I've only won like a couple big tournaments this year. Is the fact that like, it's not over. If anything, it's like the start. If your objective is trying to get like ranked super high, like that's just the start. Winning that first big tournament, like you got to do this a couple more times a year at least. So that's the hardest thing for me when it comes to something like that, where it's like this tournament isn't just the start and the finish. Like sometimes there's a whole circuit, or like there's some multiple days and you're playing all these people. Like it's the marathon type of thing, and like pacing yourself and like trying to figure out when for me, it's like how much of my tricks do I use, like in pools or against this player, if I might play them again later. Like there's a lot that goes into it. It's pretty tough. But something I wanted to talk about, since we started off talking about AK and how well he did, is like, we did see Snake versus Rob a decent amount, and I was just watching it, and I thought that matchup looked really hard for Rob. I don't know anything about it, like from the players or myself, but like, god damn, that shit looked kind of hard. Or either that or AK's super good at it, but I've seen Zomba have a hard time with Snake before. But I was actually kind of rooting for Zomba this weekend. Obviously, he's from the same region as me and everything, but we have also been playing Wi-Fi a decent amount together. So I in my head, I couldn't help but I wanted to see him go really far. And I genuinely thought he was going to win. So second isn't very far off, obviously. But yeah, we were just saying that AK hasn't been doing as well recently. Like AK was seeded 5th going into this. I think it was like,
I mean, we had Mute, Zomba were probably the top
Mute. I think Lima was like 4th above AK. So there's 4 people above AK. So AK winning it all, like, well, I was more so like thinking like Zomba or Mute, and like those are 2 people I want to see do well at Smash tournaments and stuff like that. But AK kind of just destroyed the bracket. I'm not gonna lie. So shouts to AK, and also just like to me, like Snake just is such a good pick. Like Snake is such a good character. Yeah, I really like seeing Loaf do well too as a Wario fan, and I like seeing him get a couple good wins the last couple tournaments. I feel like it's like some good experience for him. So
yeah, and as an update as well, Zomba will be our substitute player. So Zomba will be getting flown out to Watch the Throne as a sub. So he'll be able to hang out with everyone, grind with everyone. So, still, I know Zomba wanted to qualify for the main tournament, but I think bringing him out as a sub is the next best thing we could have done. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Hey, keeping it rolling here. Speaking of Rob players, I also watched BigBoss. We talked about him last time I was on because I loved his mentality around, oh, wow, what Gluto and Leo and all those guys do is so hard. It's so hard to travel and be jet lagged and to win a tournament, but he just won a big EU tournament, Sunrise, this weekend as well. And he beat Quick twice and Siski as well, plus Crepe Saleh and Netoru, some other great players. So just wanted to give him a quick shout out because I love when players, like, I feel like he's always been a humble guy, and I feel like he's always been kind of chasing being the best Rob. And he's always been a little bit behind Zomba, especially after that 5-0 mirror match that they had. That picture of BigBoss sweating, dude, that's all I think of first. And he's such a nice guy and such a great player, but that's always what I think of first, just because that reaction is so fun. There's something about like grudge matches and money matches and Smash that bring out the best emotions in people. I mean, the My B is like going to be a classic forever. Shout out to Chillin'. And that was kind of his My B moment. So I always like to see BigBoss succeed and do really well and beat Samus and beat 3 of them. So, or beat, well, 2 Samuses 3 times. You know what it is. So
yeah.
Yeah. Good stuff.
I
So
like
I
fight Samus a bunch of times because she's a popular character right now. So I feel like it's good quality experience to fight against Samus a few times in a bracket. So that's cool. Also, big shouts to one of my personal favorite people I've met through Smash, Sho, doing really, really well at Genesis Black.
Let's go, Sho.
Getting 5th place with the Meta Knight Game & Watch combo. getting a win on Loaf, another one of my favorite people. But yeah, he made it to top 8 winner side, using a combination of those two characters. One of the nicest people I've ever met. Really cool dude.
Yeah.
Been going to a lot of tournaments, like pretty much every tournament, and doing really well at a lot of them. I know he had a great run at Port Priority as well. I feel like maybe we could have talked about that a little bit more. I don't remember what placing exactly, but it was pretty far. I don't know. Shouts to Sho, great dude.
Yeah. And I even looking at Sho's bracket, Sho was winner's side top 8 at this tournament, and like we said, players like Umeki didn't even get into top 8. So there was like this tournament was extremely stacked. Sho did an amazing job, and honestly, Sho's match was against MuteAce as well. So that being your first match, and if you know anything about Smash history, especially dating back to Smash 4, Meta Knight was always a really good character against floaty characters.
Yeah, it's like the go-to counter pick for Meta Knight for a while now.
Yes, so I mean, MuteAce did still get the set 3-0, but I actually had a decent amount of faith in Sho because it was just like, well, one, Sho's just an amazing player. Sho also had the option to go Game & Watch, which is another matchup that is pretty tough for Peach. I think the call to stick it out with Meta Knight made the most sense because, like, okay, this is your comfort character in a good matchup. Like, if you don't go Meta Knight now, when will you go Meta Knight? Right? Kind of deal. But and Sho really likes playing and has faith. In so it was fun to watch Sho give it a shot and have a really, really long run, getting 5th place at this tournament, really stacked. And I know Sho could have gone farther, but you know, probably just has to figure some things out. And I know he made a tweet saying like he's still kind of learning how to deal with nerves. And I know you talked about this, Gavin. There's like different phases of the bracket, right? So when you kind of unlock another phase as a competitor, right, it's like a whole nother world. It's like okay, I'm getting out of pools now. Now I'm actually entering bracket. And then everything's different when you're in like top 64 or top 32, because maybe now it's best of 5, or the caliber of players you're going up against and stuff like that, how fast people adapt. And it's a whole nother territory. So I think Sho still kind of adapting towards that newer territory, especially like in these top 8s where everything's a lot different, right?
Yeah, and I was going to transition to saying shouts to Mute for, you know, playing the hard matchup so well for so long now too. Like Mute's shown like, you know, upgraded efficiency versus Game & Watch, like gotten wins on like Meister and stuff, or you know, even this matchup right here, right? Like I feel like Mute has been playing Peach for so long that Mute naturally has acquired like the resilience to be able to just like win in any scenario. And I admire that a lot as someone who plays a character that has like really crazy hard counterpick matchups too, is like being able to have the confidence to not only use your main, but just win. Like this was a 3-0, you know, type of thing. So shout outs to Mute. Mute's also another one of my favorite people. Also one of my favorite people to like, you know, talk and vent about Smash with and try to learn and get better. Cause like in terms of like top players in the meta, I feel like I relate a lot to Mute. Like, you know, there's like an item and like just the way the character function is, you know, it's kind of close and we kind of go through the same thing. So shouts to Mute as always.
Yeah. And I mean, even looking throughout the bracket as well, Yuno had a really good run too, formerly known as Chase. So Chase having a phenomenal run as well. I mean, honestly, we had a lot of. I mean, this was a regional tournament, but obviously we had outer regions kind of show up. I mean, I think it's pretty common to see like SoCal go up to NorCal, right? But I mean, all these players traveling obviously for this Watch the Throne spot definitely spiced it up. But still, I mean, getting this 4th place here, shout outs to Chase, fantastic stuff. Losing to. Let's see here. In losers bracket, it was Zomba, but actually started top 8 in losers bracket and had to took it over Luis 3-0, then taking it over Sho 3-0, and then losing to Zomba 3-0. Yeah. Dang. Yeah. 3-0 bracket.
Dude. Well, and Chase as well, or sorry, also winning that Dragon House Monthly that we talked about, which was super stacked. MFA also going an amazing run. Again, I love watching Omar play at this point in the game, all the way to Grand Finals winner side, and then reset and won. That bracket, Mute was in that bracket, Tarek was in that bracket, Luis, like they're a lot, Lucky, Loaf, the whole crew, like just a lot of incredible players. So I'd say overall, definitely had a great weekend for themselves. Yeah. So it's pretty cool. Shout out to Chase.
I actually kind of have a little bit of something I wanted to talk about, kind of involving Chase. Like First off, I want to say I feel like Chase has inherited the SoCal playstyle, especially as like probably the best player from that area at the moment, right? Like just the speed of Chase's gameplay reminds me of like what I used to play against in Smash 4 SoCal. You know what I mean? Like I don't know what it is. Like character play style. Like it feels like Chase has really inherited it, and it's kind of funny because I remember when I used to travel to SoCal back in the day for Smash, it felt like their style was so much easier for me to deal with because I play in Tri-State and I don't have to explain much. Like it's a little bit of everything over there, but yeah, I feel like Chase is just really like it feels like the inherited SoCal style, like really aggressive. I don't know how you feel about this, Charles, if you've thought about this at all, but it really does feel like that play style still exists in Ultimate at this point.
It's a little bit more rare,
Yeah.
and I'm not as in
Like
tune
Chase
with
plays
the-
as fast as like Light. Like it's pretty
yeah,
much
yeah.
like
I agree in terms of like
caliber of speed. Like
yeah, the SoCal, and for viewers that don't know too much of the history of SoCal, in Smash 4, SoCal was one of the stronger regions. A big part of it was because 2GG, an older organization that's not here with us today, they used to do a ton of tournaments, and they had like a big circuit, and it was Esports Arena plus 2GG, and that was like really the come up of when Smash went from grassroots into esports. That was a big part of it, was the 2GGC Championship Series or whatever. Civil War was a part of that, and all these big like iconic tournaments, the sagas and stuff like that. So SoCal was one of the strongest regions in Smash 4, and they always catered towards more aggressive playstyle characters. So a lot of Fox, a lot of Sheik. So like fast place, I can mash buttons on your shield, right? And I'm just like kind of moving in and out. It's like we're still camping, but it's like you're camping up close, right? That's essentially what like these faster aggro
base
characters
game characters. Like Chase plays like
characters, yeah.
like a little bit of everything, but mostly Palu, right? I don't know. It does feel like it's still there, which it just kind of came up right now. I was just kind of thinking about it, so I thought I'd mention that. But yeah, I do think Chase's like pacing is very impressive. Like Chase, Light, Spargo, where it's like you can't really blink versus them type of thing.
But I definitely get what you're saying. It's definitely a throwback because we haven't seen SoCal really get into these later parts of bracket. I think SoCal was I think the strongest time there was ever for SoCal Smash history is going to be like Smash 4. Early Ultimate, like they were still pretty relevant, especially with like Void and Larry. But then I think after like the first PGR season, I know Void took a pretty big dip. So like SoCal in general kind of took a dip. And then obviously like Elegant doesn't compete anymore. So we don't have that much reps for SoCal, but it's nice to see Chase kind of take that mantle up. And it's really sick to see that he's also showcasing like the play style, like the old school SoCal play style of aggro fast, in your face. Like you got to make decisions really quick. So yeah, I love that about his Apollo, and even all of the rest of his characters. Sometimes he dips into the darkness. He has to go to Steve sometimes to close it out. He used Steve against Sho to beat him 3-0, but sometimes you got to do what you got to do. I respect it.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's a part of SoCal Smash too. You just got to do what you got to do sometimes. Like it is what it is, man. And I think,
but in Smash 4 they didn't. Like no one played Bayo.
That's what I was trying to explain. When I was over there,
weird.
I would show them the DLC, and I wouldn't like they would just run at me, and I'd just win. Like I always thought that was hilarious. Like I did so well in that region,
dude. The other thing I think, speaking of Chase's like pacing, nothing I think shows that off more than when he played against Light and beat Light. What tournament was it? It was the outdoor tournament. Remember?
I think that's why I started talking about this in the first place, because it's one of the big sets I think of when I think of being impressed with Chase. Is like I was thoroughly impressed to the point where I was like, is this a bad matchup for Fox? I was convinced. Like this looks hard. Like
who wasn't impressed? Light wasn't impressed.
Oh.
Well. I'm rooming with Light at Watch the Throne. I'm so excited. We're gonna be so stupid. We're having such a good time. What a bunch of dummies, Who agreed to that?
You're the one who wanted it.
I did, yeah. I did.
That was a Haz request.
That was a good one.
Yeah.
It was a good one. Yeah.
We could talk about Watch the Throne, what we're excited about, what we're looking when it comes to.
Wait, one set I actually do want to talk about. I know it's not like the most exciting one, but I personally, one of the players I wanted to qualify is Lima, just because I think Lima and Bloom being in the same bracket would have been really sick.
Yeah.
But Dang, man, Lima had a tough draw. And I mean, no matter what, to win this tournament, Lima probably would have had to fought AK, which is another really tough draw for Bayo. Probably one of, if not Bayo's worst matchup is probably Snake. But another one that I've always thought was bad, even since Smash 4, is Sonic. And Lima was doing okay versus Wrath, but then there was some games where I think Wrath 3-stalked Lima one of the games. It was like so rough. The hurt
I wanted to learn more about that one because the stages were mostly FD in town. And I don't know the matchup or anything, but I was like, damn, that sounds like I wasn't sure if I agreed or anything, but I don't know the details, right? Like I'm not like saying someone is right or wrong, but yeah, it would have been cool to see Lima in the bracket. I think Lima's one of the most cerebral players in Ultimate. And I really like Lima's style as Bayo specifically, and I like Bayo. And I agree with what Charles said too. And from my own perspective, a little bit selfish, I don't think I'm that good against Bayo, so the more Bayo I can fight, the better when it comes to trying to learn. So that's cool. Well, Charles, I guess that'd be a good transition into talking about Watch the Throne because
definitely
all the groups are out and stuff. So
I was gonna say you got plenty of Bloom to watch at the Throne too, Charles. So we'll be good on Bayo at least.
Super excited about that.
Yeah, me too.
Bloom, young up and coming player, doesn't get too many chances in terms of opportunities to play up against the other top talent of the world because Bloom resides in the UK. So we've seen some invaders come over to Europe, but in this kind of setting, it's going to be so sick. Even just the potential for content. Bloom is going to be able to play a bunch of tournament sets, especially with the group format and all that stuff. So we'll see a lot of that. But even just watching Bloom play friendlies against other players, I'm really excited to see stuff like that on the side. So yeah, I mean, we can definitely jump and transition into the groups. The groups are out for Watch the Throne, and we can definitely go over your group first, Gavin, if you would like to, just to kind of how you're feeling about your group and stuff like that. So that is, we'll pull that up real quick. I have the Chris. It's in the podcast live.
We got it.
No? Oh, you got it. Okay, nice. All right, so yeah, let's go over it.
Right.
So
it is Group A, so it does make the most sense, anyways.
yes, first group.
Talk about. So Group A, we got Aquila, me, Kurama, and Bloom. So that's a good transition. I was just talking about the Bayo matchup, so that's cool. For me specifically, I'm usually indifferent about who I play against most of the time, but I do like playing against people who beat me the previous time. And Aquila has beaten me every time, so it doesn't get better than that.
Let's for the audio only people, real quick. Sorry to cut you off, but so Group A, let's just go down real quick. The Group A, which is Tweek's group, you have Aquila, Tweek, Kurama, and Bloom, which is gonna be super sick. Group B is Sonix, Ken, Leo, and Luis. I think Leo and Luis have their work cut out for them in terms of a matchup to study. And then Group 3, you got Mia, Gluto, DeBuzz, and my man WebbJP. And you got Group 4, the final group is Spargo, Light, ApolloKage, and Tarek. Oh my god, dude, these groups are fire.
Yeah.
That
might be the most interesting group, the last one there.
Which one, Group B?
Group 4, no.
4, yeah.
Oh, okay.
It is funny that they're Group A, Group B.
Yeah, wait, what?
Didn't even realize that. Just read it.
Yeah, I think we all collectively just realized that at the same time.
Well, we gotta keep you guys.
Leave it. You know we better say that the whole show, Charles. All right, we're gonna move on from Group B to Group 3. From B to 3, you know how it goes. The rhymes applies. Here we go.
I can't. All
right, Gavin, let's talk about. Sorry, I did interrupt you. Let's get back into talking about your bracket and what you're looking forward to.
Yeah, no problem. Like I said, I do kind of prefer to play people who beat me last time. It keeps me a little more motivated. It gives me a reason to have the fire. But it's a bit of everything, I would say. Aquila, someone who's beaten me every time, let alone the previous time. Kurama, someone I've beaten every time. And then Bloom, someone I haven't played at all. So I think that's interesting. And they're all very different matchups. So I think that's cool. I'm kind of excited to play for once, which is cool as well. I'm just looking forward to the vibes too. What I like when the events ran by people I know. It feels like a family owned business type of thing.
Mom and pop's store.
Mom and pop's invitational.
When I go to a Max tournament, I feel at home regardless if it's Miami or if it's New York. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or if I'm Max works a lot with with Joe and stuff in Canada. So like I don't know. It just like it feels like I know what I'm getting myself into no matter where I'm going, and
It's a comfort thing, right?
it's like
Comfort
visiting
from past
family.
experience.
Like both of y'all are gonna be there. Like I said, like y'all are family to me, so that makes it more easier to play the game. But yeah, I'm excited for my group. I think the hardest thing is just character, like always for me. I've been playing like 99% Diddy Kong, and obviously he doesn't do very well versus Steve, so we'll see what happens there.
Well, I was even going to ask. I mean, you definitely don't have to tell us who you're going to go against Bloom. Obviously, like you could save that for a secret if you want.
Yeah.
But we know Bloom's going Bayo, and I know the last couple times you played against Lima in tournament, you would like kind of switch between the two, right? And I don't know if you're still thinking about which character to use. Maybe you're kind of like leaning more towards Diddy because you've just been playing Diddy more. I mean, obviously Sephiroth has some very useful stuff in the matchup, but also is very tall, so it can kind of be susceptible to ABK, right? But yeah.
Overall, I don't think Sephiroth is particularly amazing versus Bayo. I just coincidentally thought I'm better against Lima with Sephiroth or I'm better against Bayo with Sephiroth. One of those, maybe both.
Mm-hmm.
I think Diddy does great versus Bayo, definitely wins the matchup, but I didn't know if it was my style or experience or if I was misunderstanding something, but I think I'm pretty bad against Bayo. So on paper, I think my best play is to go Diddy and try to learn as much as I can, because being good at the matchup would probably be best because it's probably the best. Like Diddy probably wins the matchup while Sephiroth might not even win the matchup. So, yeah, like the Sephiroth is the type of thing that comes out if I want to win right now, and I think it's my best pick regardless of
the short term answer.
It's a short term, right? And I don't like being a short term person. I really don't. So, yeah.
Nice. And we can also go over the other groups as well. So Lumi rank did seed this. We have two Sonix. Let's address the elephant in the room right now. Group B. Let's take a look. See, right. So we got Sonix, Ken, Leo, and Luis. I'm sorry, Leo and Luis, but two players had to be in there. So I'm sorry that had to be you two, but honestly, getting
W for you. If you're great at that matchup, W.
And Leo.
You have to study one last matchup. You just need to know how to beat Sonic. That's easy.
I think Leo is particularly pretty good versus Sonic.
Yeah.
I do think that. Not saying being good versus Sonic means you're going to beat these two players, because it's not always the case. But when it comes to chances, and I could see Luis also being great at the matchup. Luis kind of likes fighting up against the difficult stuff. Luis always wants to play Aquila. Luis wants to play Mia. So I can see Luis being ready for this kind of thing. And I don't know. I think Luis is a very resilient, well-rounded player, so I think you could throw a lot of things his way. So we'll see how this group goes. When it comes to Sonix especially, Sonix is such a consistent player right now that you can probably throw out most things at him and he'll come out with a victory. So we'll see. But Ken does play Sephiroth, just not nearly as much as Sonic, and I'm not sure if it's logical for it to come out in most situations in this group, maybe against Luis, maybe, but I don't talk to Ken that much. I don't know his thought process. Like I'm thinking from if I was in this situation, the only person I might go Sephiroth against is Luis if I'm a Sonic player, or if I don't like the Ditto.
Sonix and Ken have never played against each other.
Yes, that is another important thing that Charles just mentioned, is that they've never played against each other. So
we're breaking barriers here. Watch the throne, baby. Making it a time for everyone. The match everyone wants to see. Let's go. Come on.
Yeah, we haven't seen an ultimate yet. I know the fans have been really wanting this matchup. This is a very highly anticipated matchup. Everyone in the YouTube comments are asking special requests for these groups to be set up like this. So, of course, we're going to give it to the people. Finally, Sonix versus Ken. And I'm actually curious if we'll definitely have Bam on that block because Bam loves watching Sonic. And
it's just Bam, actually. It's fine.
Yeah.
Let him spam about Sonic the entire time. He'll love it. What? He'd love it. Would you not love it?
I'm excited to see him.
Like if you got Kananabe against Light and you got to solo cast it, wouldn't you be pumped?
I'm just trying to think how the matchup plays out because, can Sonic not even approach Spin Dash? Like, that's like the grand.
I have a pretty good idea how it'll play out.
Why don't you tell us, Gavin?
I'll tell
Your
you what's
expert
gonna happen.
opinion. What do you think's would happen?
A lot of nothing is going to happen on the screen.
Spoilers, Gavin.
And it's going to take a while.
force. Unstoppable force, immovable object, I think, is what it is.
I see.
What are you gonna do? It'll be good.
I at least
though,
know what's
We'll
going to
find
happen
it.
at 3, 2, 1, go.
We're gonna hear
and that's
one
nothing.
sound effect many times.
The iconic Evo Grands, but instead of 2 Bayos charging neutral B, it's just 2 spin dashes charging on the other side.
Pretty
of the
much.
stage.
Like,
We're fumbling. We're fumbling here for a couple of reasons. One, with this match, we need to make it fun. That's our job. That's the thing. These are 2 really, really good players, and they deserve their credit. And we can make it fun for sure. We need fun people on that couch. That's our job. 2, we fumbled by not rigging and putting Luis against Akola. Every time I run into Luis, he goes, "Just put me against Akola, man. I could do it. I'm like, all right, yeah.
He talks about it very often.
He does, dude. Why did we not rig the bracket
Which is
for that?
why
We're stupid.
I have faith in him.
French would have done it. You what?
It's why I have faith in him in general as a player. I like Luis a lot. I think he's great. He's very well rounded. Palu's very well rounded. Like, I don't know. I think he like this group is kind of hard to predict. There's the easy answer where we just say Sonix is too good at the moment type of thing, but we'll see.
I think the character
maybe we'll see Leo's Corrin, which I'm sure a lot of people are confused. Why doesn't that come out more often? That character's kind of crazy.
And he beat Sonix at Wave Dash, a SoCal regional with Corrin. He beat Sonix with Corrin. So
that character's OD.
Yes, Leo has done it, and I mean Corrin's been having an uptick, so this could be the return of the Leo Corrin. Maybe he just uses it specifically for these 2 Sonic players. I mean, maybe even if he does that and he gets the W against Sonix, maybe it'll give him the confidence to keep bringing out the Corrin in tournament, right? Sonix has been a player to beat right now, so that'd be really sick. I mean, obviously Leo can play whatever character he wants, but I mean, it's definitely proven, right? He's done it with the Corrin before, so it'd be cool to see again. And Palu also has the speed to at least somewhat contest Sonic, right? As long as your character can force interactions with Sonic, that's the main thing in terms of just like, at least you get to play the game against Sonic, right? There's a lot of lower tier characters that can't force interactions with Sonic, and they don't even get to play the game. So at least the pool of like characters we have, they can definitely play the game against
there's
Sonic.
no like ridiculously bad situation matchup wise. But I guess let's go from B to 3.
Classic.
Here at Tweek Talks, the B to 3.
Which I don't.
Look at that B to 3 shift right now. All right. Mia, Gluto, DeBuzz, WebbJP.
I think this is
a banger. This is
hard. Game Watch versus Wario is really hard for Wario. Olimar versus Wario is very hard for Wario.
You beat him with Rosa though. Sorry, you said Wario. Sorry, I was thinking Mia. Go ahead. Sorry, my faulty.
So,
wait, is this not an amazing pool for DeBuzz? Are we rigging the bracket for DeBuzz right now? That's what Lumi ranks? Hello?
I think this is a great pool for DeBuzz.
I could see DeBuzz getting first at this pool.
Yeah, I think that's reasonable. Obviously, there's also the thing where Mia is just so good that Mia wins, right? So I think the interesting thing is I would like to see Gluto versus WebbJP. Did this happen at Miami? No.
I don't think so.
Was Gluto even at Miami?
No.
Somebody check. Is Gluto in Miami right now?
Is Gluto in Miami?
Let me call Gluto right now and see if he's in Miami.
Because WebbJP played a bunch of good players at Miami. But so Sheik's an interesting one. Most of the time I think Wario wins, but then there's some situations like in my head where Sheik can do it. So if you're Sheik, you gotta have like your kill confirms ready, and all 3 of these characters, Game & Watch and then DeBuzz's lineup and Wario, feels like you have to swing at and kill confirm specifically, like in different ways, if you know what I mean. Like especially the way you hit, like the way you swing at Wario, the way you swing at Game & Watch, and then the way you swing at DeBuzz's lineup. Like he's gonna have to play very different versus his whole pool. So that's interesting. DeBuzz's lineup is always a question mark, at least to a little bit of a degree. It's mostly Rosa nowadays, which I think is awesome, by the way. Where else are we going to see a character like Rosa show up and do that well? So we'll see, especially if he plays Gluto, right? Because usually the Olimar, like, it has a couple phases, but usually it's like not coming out much at all. So will it come out for Wario? Gluto usually beats the Buzz, so we'll see. And Game Watch versus Wario, man. That's a tough one.
Impossible.
Gluto has beaten Mia before, but it was before Mia, like, made the impact he's made today. So I don't know, man. This one has, like, compared to the Group B where we said, like, the matchups feel more well-rounded, this one is not as well-rounded when it comes to matchups. Like, there's some clear counter picks in here when it comes to character selection.
I think one thing I'm excited for too is this is one of the pools where a vote-in is going to have 3 great opportunities to really make a name for himself, even more than he has already for WebbJP. He's played the Buzz in 2 sets. He hasn't taken a game off him yet, so it's gonna be a tough one. But who knows? Gluto and
Buzz
Mia,
is very, very comfortable versus Sheik in every
he is.
Smash game. So
That's a tough one. Gluto and Mia, though, excellent international competition for him to try to make something big happen. I'm excited.
Yeah.
His Sheik is incredible. Reminds me of, we were talking about Noodle a lot, the DK. He's flashy like Noodle with Sheik. He gets all the. He's one of those players like Void where he kills that Sheik can't kill meme. You know what I mean? It's like, yep, it just happens. They combo into Diamond Cutter True, kill you at 90. It's over. And it's Sheik. So that's like turbo early. So I'm excited to see what Webb does. I'm excited to see good Sheik play. I know you are too, Charles.
Oh yeah, and like I love how Gavin explained it, especially looking through the lens of WebbJP. You're looking at matchups that are very, very different, and they're going to test very different skills for Sheik. Like, okay, so are you good at comboing specifically heavy floaties, but don't do the confirm too early like you usually do at like 110 or 120. You need to rack up, you need to like do another corner carry, add like 10 or 20%, then go for the confirm at 140. Oh wait, you have rage, maybe 125. Like there's so many different variants, especially with Sheik when you're comboing all these different types of characters, and there's not a lot of heavy floaty characters in the game that are especially like meta, so that's going to be weird. And Wario getting past that KO percent is a nightmare for Sheik. When Wario gets to like 150, 160, that's what Wario prefers to be at, that percent, than the other percents.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well,
He's got the max rage.
There's the next matchups, right? Which if you think Wario is a nightmare, like then it's like, okay, how do you deal with getting rid of Lima as Sheik, and then you fight Rosa for a bit? Okay, now how do you deal with Game & Watch and his light shield and his weight when it comes to getting your confirms there? Like you gotta be very well rounded with Sheik if you want to win this group. You can't be good at one thing. You can't be good at 2 things. You got to be good at everything, I think, as when it comes to Smash Bros. And Sheik. Which I think is interesting, and like you said, like Haz just said, it's probably it's a great opportunity when it comes to the global talent and the matchups and everything. So, but it's very different than the other groups we were just talking about when it comes to characters. So,
yeah, that's right, man. All right, Group D, is that Group 4? My bad. Okay, Group 4. I'm sorry. Sparkle, Light, ApolloKage, Tarek. Matchup I'm most excited for in here is Light Tarek. Actually, I think that'll be super fun. I think Tarek is incredible off stage with Greninja. Very fluid with his movement. Very calculated with his edge guards. Light's gonna have to maybe take a page out of Kanenabe's book and learn how to recover some of those fancy angles he was doing. Light is nothing if not an adapter. So I'm excited to see how that matchup goes. Plus Greninja. Fox, I don't know why, but those characters are bucketed together in my head for some reason. I don't know if they just like to dash attack at you or some shit, but there you go.
They do.
There you go. Yeah, that's as simple as it is. Like they're low to the ground.
You're not alone. I think most people think this way.
Yeah. All right. Cool. All right. I wasn't sure if I was being weird.
I also loved your word choice describing Tarek's gameplay because I feel like those were very accurate.
He's great. I love watching him play.
A little bit of background when it comes to Light. He thinks highly of Greninja, so I think this is a cool one to be interested for, like Has said. Light thinks very highly of Greninja, so we'll see how that goes. But this group is overall, I'm going to say it's the most aggressive group, and I'm going to guarantee that, actually. And now that I'm looking at everything as I'm saying that, I'm going to guarantee this is Spargo and Light are like the 2 of, if not the 2 fastest players on planet Earth in Smash Ultimate. Tarek plays a character that's not like Tarek. I wouldn't say plays fast, but he's not. But Greninja doesn't necessarily play slow either. I feel like Tarek is a bit of a he molds to the situation, which is fine. But adding Spargo and Light in the same pool, I think already guarantees the speed. And then AK also can do a bit of everything as well. Yeah, I'm interested to see AK play everyone because AK just won a whole bracket. So I feel like AK is one of those players that we just said it was Zomba too, right? Like could probably beat anyone on the planet on a good day. So there's that. AK had a crazy close set with Aquila at Port Priority.
Oh yeah.
Like,
oh my goodness.
The type of set that like if a couple things went differently, like the whole weekend changed, type of thing. So we'll see. I would like to see Spargo versus AK, Light versus AK. You know what I mean?
I hope we get Invitational AK. I hope he's causing damage in the bracket and he's destroying Chuck out of bracket. That's what I hope for. I hope we get the Mafia run back A and B. Bro, that's where he beat what Gluto, Leo. Dude,
I would say that was his big breakout tournament in terms of like one tournament that like got a ton of amazing wins. Summit 6, if I'm not mistaken, right? The last
that was such a fun summit too, because that was Big D and him both qualified through main stage, I believe, and then they both did so well at Summit. Like they both did incredibly well at Summit. Well, Big D also did well at the Ludwig thing too. So a lot of tournaments for those guys, but it was really cool to see them kind of like start sparking at the same time and then do really well at Summit too. Like really, really well at Summit, which was so cool, man. That's so awesome for so many reasons, but the results too, like the bracket itself as well, was so sick for a lot of players, especially AK. And like we said before, his results have been a little inconsistent recently. It seems like he's hit a stride again. He might be getting hot at the right time, and I mean, we all like sports, watch sports. If you get hot at the right time and the playoffs come, you could win the whole championship. So we'll see how AK does, man. We talk about how good of a character Snake is as well. A lot to consider with this player coming in here. He's certainly a wild card, I think is a good way to put it. Right, Chuck? You know about AK being a wild card?
Yes. Sometimes the biggest wild card that you just can't seem to get a read on. And you have to go.
I wish we had that audio. Like, I just need that audio.
Part of that shit, bro.
Oh my god, man.
Okay,
but best and the worst Mafia game I've ever played.
That was the best Mafia game of all time. Because, dude, usually, especially Ultimate players, we're just bad at Mafia, and it's uninteresting because we're just bad. Like, just nothing happens. That was bad to such a degree that it was like a car crash. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just can't look away. Like, what is happening right now? This is unreal.
Yeah, I was definitely aggressive and raging.
It was understandable,
a little bit, yeah.
A little bit, yeah.
For Spargo, something I don't know if I've mentioned. Sorry, I just do this. I just want to talk about this so bad, but
no, I'm sorry. That shit was just so funny to me. Go ahead.
Bringing up the Mafia game, Gavin. No, I'm just kidding.
So Spargo. Spargo.
Okay.
What I wanted to say is, like, as someone like Spargo's like as talented as it gets, right? In terms of like rankings and like, you know, the eye test, like watching him play, like all that stuff, tournament results. But you know, there's been a couple performances that were like not expected, right? And I think with someone as talented and young as Spargo, we have to be ready for the inevitable like rubber band effect where he bounces back and is like better than ever. That happens with these young players, like it always does. Like the young, crazy, talented players, like. So this could be that event. I'm saying it will happen. There will be a tournament where Spargo just like destroys everyone, which is like a lot of the time already. But I think it would be very naive of anyone to doubt Spargo ever. But especially at a time like this where he's probably going to rubber band and like super bounce back. As someone that's been around for a long time, I'm very prepared for moments like that. And then for Light, I think it's pretty commendable how consistent he's been since day one. And let's see if he like breaks those barriers and like just straight up gets first place, which doesn't happen extremely often for him at like the big tournaments. But I do think Light is the best player in the United States right now. So I think
that's a hot topic right now.
Yeah, I do think
very close.
Dang.
If there's a good time to try to like win a tournament, it's right now for him, right? Because I think right now he's the best player in the United States, which is obviously a bit tough competition between Mute, Zomba, and myself. So yeah, I would give it to him right now. And then for Tarek's like one of the most improved players this year.
Yeah.
Would be the first, like one of the first players to come to people's mind for most of the community, which I think is really cool. And I think Greninja, it's cool that Greninja has a spot because not always the case really, especially like when it comes to the tippy top of the meta. So yeah, I think there's a bit of everything to offer there. And yeah, those are my final thoughts on that group. I wanted to get some of those thoughts out because we were mostly talking about only a specific thing or two.
Yeah, and it's really sick because even you could probably slot AK in there with Tarek too, right? There's so many players that have improved so much. We have, I mean, one of the crew battles we want to do is old guard versus new guard. I know we always with events we usually do like country or region versus region or something like that, but we wanted to try something different. So that's one of the crew battles that we have planned for the players because I think it's, especially at this point of Ultimate, I feel like there's a clear cut between like old guard and new guard, right? With all the younger up and coming talent that have been, doing so well, especially on the top 5 rankings, right? Usually within a Smash game, that usually flips about one time or so, and we're seeing it happen in Ultimate as well, right? About 3 or 4 years into the game's lifespan, the top 5 really starts taking a turn in terms of like who's coming in, breaking into that spot, right? So it's cool to see that we are a couple years into that. So I think that crew battle is going to be really fun, and I mean even just the bracket too. I think especially with Spargo, I think Spargo definitely wants his run back with Ken, right, from port priority. So if they end up having to play, face each other in gauntlet phase, or maybe Spargo just gets out, first in his pool and doesn't have to ignore the gauntlet phase. But there's so much that could happen, right? And the great thing about Summit is I like it for players, and I mean you can talk on this too, Gavin, as well. Is every match you're not fighting for your winner's side spot, right? Like in a tournament, it's double elimination, right? And usually every match you have one elimination, quote unquote, is on the line, right? So the great thing about Summit is the whole first day you can play and you're still in winner side technically, but then once you enter the gauntlet phase, now you're playing for that bracket, quote unquote. Yeah, now it's like quote unquote bracket, right? So that changes a lot of the dynamic when it comes to the mental, right? And
it can be harder and it can be easier. Like it can be a bit of both when it comes to the pressure that puts on you.
Yeah, and you won Summit 3, so I know you have a lot of experience on the winning side and the losing side coming from that. And yeah, and I mean, even when we talk about someone like Light has been so close. Like I believe twice, has gotten second place at Summit twice.
Yeah.
So I would like to see Light close one of these out. Obviously, it's very, very tough, right? And I mean, you've even been in that position. You've closed it out. You've got second. You've maybe not gotten into grands. So I guess what are your overall thoughts in terms of like how you approach this tournament, these invitational style tournaments? Because if you guys don't know, our bracket format is the exact same thing as Summit. So if you guys watch Summit and stuff like that, it's the exact same where we have the groups going into Gauntlet and then going into bracket, right? So how do you prepare for that as a player, Gavin?
Yeah, it's really tough. I think you got to figure out what works for you, obviously. Like for me, I've tried to be a bit experimental every time. Like, how much do I play? Because I might be playing a little bit more, a little bit less than usual. Like, do I, like, how serious do I take the groups? Like, obviously everyone's playing to win, but, should I play like short term or long term with my character choices? That's something we talked about today. There's a lot. I'm always asking myself questions. So adding more variables to the mix is very difficult. Like I have a lot of things to ask myself every tournament. So like it is difficult. And yeah, the gauntlet phase can be crazy and like the amount of pressure, but I think it's really important, like regardless of how the first day goes for anyone, like try to get some rest, try to get some good food, like relax, hang out with people you enjoy being around, and just fight your heart out the next day regardless of how that first day goes, because that first day when it comes to Summit has like done everything to me, positive and negative. You know what I mean? Like it has been a roller coaster of emotions, like invitational events like that. And regardless, like sometimes it ended up me winning. So like I wish I could go to past me and be like, it's gonna be fine. Like, you know what I mean? But it's very chaotic, and I don't know. I want everyone to have a good time, especially people that might not have been in a situation like this before. Like today, like because knowing we were going to talk about stuff like this, I've really been thinking like I really want those people to have a good time. I want Bloom to have a good time, not from the U.S. I want them to be as comfortable as possible. Like WebbJP, like I want him to be comfortable, like all that stuff. Like I don't want them to stress too much about the tournament. I also don't want them to be too stressed about the travel. Like I just want like people like that to have a good time specifically because some people are a bit more used to it than others. But yeah, I would say those are my thoughts. Sorry if I rambled a bit.
You got the MK Big Boss going. You're talking about how hard it is to travel and play well. It's true. I think people are becoming more and more aware of that as we need to travel more for events, right? As it needs to happen. Be aware of it. Gavin, something you had asked earlier is like, let's talk about the things we're most excited about. I think all three of us agree that we're just excited to be around people who love Ultimate and our close, call them our Smash family, right? The whole family's going to be there. The commentary lineup is some of the best people I've ever met in Smash who have worked really hard to make this event pop off and to make it special. Plus the TOs who obviously do an incredible job and have done everything. Ray is like just a god, and Flo has helped out so much, and Keith who does the graphics, and it's been such a great team effort, and it's been interesting and eye-opening to be behind the scene. And like Charles said, it's been stressful, but it's, anything in life that's worth doing or worth having is going to be hard. It's going to be difficult at certain points, and this was certainly one of those things. And I'm just excited to be in a great area for Smash, watch some of the best players in the world, and get to talk about it a bit. I'm really thankful that I have this in my life still after so many years. It's really, really cool. Speaking of all the commentators going to be there, I wanted to bring this up last week. This changes the subject a little bit. Y'all see TK's tier list of commentators? Y'all see that?
Good. Yeah, let's bring it up. Let's bring it up. It's so funny.
Did you see this, Gavin? This shit was cracking me up. Can we?
I actually did see that. I did actually.
Click on it and zoom in. All right. So TK made a commentary tier list. Essentially, it says it's commentators for Smash Ultimate based on some arbitrary tier list maker list. And his chat asked him if he was on a game show, who would he trust? Of all the commentators, which is interesting because I'm not really sure what type of game show it is. Like, is it, I assume it's like general trivia. Like, that was my thing. So the first one, top tier, is I trust more than any of you. And it's a picture of himself. WTK. I love that self-confidence. Next tier down, the highest tier that's not just TK, is I trust with my life, but not more than myself. Charles is number one in there. Charles?
W.
I would say the same, Charles. You would be way up there for me as well. And then Rod and Vicky, which co-sign obviously as well. Great humans, very hard workers, and they would definitely try. They would work their asses off to make that happen. Now, this next tier is a little interesting. The
best tier. I wish I was on this tier.
The third tier, I trust, but I know would be annoying on purpose / for content. And it is Coney and me. Also, grinning like idiots, which is my favorite thing about it.
Yeah,
we look like such assholes in those pictures.
I love all of these people, dude. I
know. We do have a good group of commentators in Ultimate.
We do.
I showed my wife that, and I was like, I'm pretty happy with this result. She's like, he called you annoying. I'm like, well, yeah, I am. At least he thinks I'd be helpful. Like, that's cool. It's all good.
Yeah.
You get to be on the same tier as Coney. I can't.
Dude, I can't. Yeah. Next is I trust because that's my guy, which is Bam.
I saw the FNAF movie with Coney.
Amazing.
And he did I can't during the movie. He did that.
I just did it now. I don't even think of it. That's why it's the best emote.
He actually did that, bro.
It's the best emote ever.
I love seeing movies with Cody. We're gonna see the Godzilla movie. You guys are coming.
I'm not
right?
like a Twitch chatter, so I kind of had to figure it out. Like after 30 seconds after, I was like, wait, he just did that.
Was he saying it? Was he saying I can't?
He said it. Yeah, he said it. He said I can't.
He goes, I can't.
Yeah, he did that.
I just facepalm a lot.
Yeah.
I trust because that's my guys, Bam, Fabs, AJ, and Ajax, and Koopa. And Koopsma. That's Koopa is so, and AJ, that whole tier I trust because that's my guy. For sure. And I trust enough to believe they would do well. A lot of great casters in there. I don't think we need to go through the whole tier list. I think the point is that me and Charles, very high regard. And I also really wanted Marcus to react to that because I think he would put me and Coney in a similar type tier list somehow. Yeah. But either way, I thought this shit was hilarious.
No, the second to last one, we got to second to last.
I have one comment.
Oh, the second to last one is so fucking funny.
We might have to go. We don't have to go all the way toxic and go on the bottom one, but we can go to the second to the last one.
I had a comment.
Okay, let's hear
what's
it.
up?
I want to defend Max, actually. I forget what his ranking was.
Yes.
But I think Max is so smart and knows so much general trivia.
Agreed.
Like, I'm serious. Like, this is something I know about him as a person. Like, I'm defending him. Like, it's not just video games and shit. Like, he's just a smart guy. I could trust him with general trivia stuff. Like, for sure. Like, Max is very smart.
Yes,
So.
I agree with that, but I also understand TK's placement. Do you understand? It's wild card.
I don't know if he's a wild. I would think he's one of the consistent picks, genuinely.
Me personally, I'd have him in the top or upper tiers for sure.
Yes.
Like, for sure. But I understand why someone might put him there.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I guess.
Dude, and then Hummings is so funny.
Bro, Hummings is so funny. And Hummings go, what does this mean? And I responded on Twitter, I wrote, he said his piece. Like, he said what he needs to say. And TK's like, I didn't think this was confusing. This is one of my favorite things I've seen. I think it's so funny. All right, fine. Go ahead, Charles. Do the Phil one on his birthday.
All right. Yeah. By the way, happy birthday, EE.
Happy birthday to EE and happy birthday to Jackal.
Yeah, we have 2 Smash birthdays. Yeah. Let's go. Jackal and EE. WW.
Well, this will be up the day after, but still.
Right.
All good.
So the second to last tier for the audio listeners is would betray me the second there is monetary gain. We are bringing out the vocabulary on this one. And front and center is EE and then followed up by Hungrybox.
H-Box. No, it was watching him do this, because initially he had EE up in the trust, and then he like really thought about it for a second and just started typing. I was like,
you saw it live?
So funny.
That is so funny.
You saw it live? Yeah, I didn't know this.
Yeah, I saw the tier list, so I rewound the VOD is what happened.
Oh, okay.
What the hell is going on? But yeah, Jesus Christ, dude, this is so funny. And I think
you picked such a good Hungrybox picture for if you're gonna put Hungrybox in that tier. Like, what a picture, right? Like leaning forward with the
glasses. Yeah, you guys know the picture. And I think like there's a lot in commentary, and I think we don't talk about commentary a lot, but we do sometimes. But a lot of people like. The tough thing with commentary is you're under a microscope all the time. Like, people might just not like you just because they don't fucking like you. Like, maybe you said one thing wrong one time and they can't let go of that. Or you look like their neighbor who bullied them or some shit and they just can't disassociate. And that's cool. Like, not everyone's going to like you. But people make, like, commentary tier lists and it gets people all, like, twisted about their feelings and stuff, which is, I get it. Like, you know, it's all good. But I love things like this where it's clearly just content. It's just for fun. You know what I mean? Like, I think that is hilarious. Even though not everyone ended up in a great spot on the tier list, like it is what it is, but it's mostly just fun, which I appreciate.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of making commentary like competitive in a sense where it's like, oh, hey, like I'm a better caster than you because X, Y, and Z or whatever. Like I just feel like that's weird because at the end of the day, commentary is such a subjective thing, and getting hired for commentary is even more so. Like, it is about your commentary, but it's more about who you know and what TOs you've networked with, right? Because at the end of the day, someone running an event is going to decide who they're going to hire for commentary. So if they like working with a specific individual because of past experiences, they'll probably go with that, right? It's not necessarily even about how good your commentary is. I feel like you have to get your commentary to a certain point, and then getting it past that point, like, kind of helps, but not really, right? Like you as long as your commentary is good enough to be on the cast and be part of the event, that's the main thing. And then past that, it's the whole networking thing. So and I'm just not a fan. To me, it's just are the commentators making the broadcast? Are they bringing some to the broadcast? That's like the bottom line you have to ask, right? And I feel like some commentators that's not their first priority. Their first priority is maybe other things that aren't bringing stuff to the broadcast. And that's where I kind of like, I kind of get iffy, you know what I mean? In terms of just like the up and coming commentators, I just want to make sure that whenever the mantle is passed, right? Because obviously we can't be commentating forever, but whenever the mantle is passed, I would like the next generation of commentators to really, really give a shit about this game. That's really all I ask. Like,
you said we can't do this forever. You said we can't do this forever. Phil just had another birthday, bro. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, he's got another one in him.
I got one more in me. Phil,
let's go. But yeah, I mean, I don't know how you guys feel about commentary, but to me, it feels that simple. Obviously, you do it a lot. Like, you go and grind and go to your local, so you become good at it. But I think the main thing that you can't hide, no matter how good you are at acting, is if you love the game or not. And I think that's such a big
the
deal.
number one criteria for sure.
Yeah, that
Agreed,
you have to have that foundation.
It'll at least make someone stand out to me, even if they need to work on their craft of commentary. I think having that as your cornerstone or your foundation is so important. And I think, like you said, Charles, some people get into commentary. I don't want to say for the wrong reasons. Commentary, it's a thing where the spotlight is on you, so it's going to attract people who like attention and like getting that feedback and all that stuff, good or bad. Obviously, more good than bad. So that'll happen. But yeah, I agree. I mean, most of the people who got into it in the beginning were just in it because they love the game and love talking about the game. I mean, the thing is, you can love the game, but also need to have like a good personality. Like, I don't know, you're not going to please everyone all the time. Some people, I've seen every single caster you've ever seen. I've seen them get fucking hate. I've seen them get the meanest shit ever said about Coney, TK, Phil, like all these guys who I think are brilliant and exceptional on the mic. I've seen people actually fucking hate them for no reason, or not. I guess I shouldn't say no reason. Sometimes it's for no reason, but it's just, I don't know. It's an interesting thing to be in the public spotlight as a commentator and see, hey, I love your casting, I love it, and then other times, go fuck yourself. I hate this guy. Like, I wish he would leave because he just makes everything worse. Like, it just like you just see that shit randomly sometimes, and I'll see it about other people all the time. Like, that's so fucked up, man. As I know these people care so much, and I know how hard they work, and it's so weird, dude. It's such a weird position in life, and like a weird, like, not to get too like meta or whatever about it, but it's just a weird concept. Like, we're sitting there talking about Smash and people like really like us or really hate us because of it. Like, it's so strange. Like, it's such a weird concept or thing to think about.
It's Monado Arts.
Yeah, well, that's fine. That's great. And some feedback's great like that because I'll never fuck that up again. But other feedback, I'm like, dude, I can't change the way my face. Well, I guess I could, but like I can't.
Yeah,
is what it is. I could try.
But
yeah. Anyway, sorry. We got So sorry, we got into a weird tangent there. We have been casting Unite though, which has been going super well. I love Unite, man.
Yes,
I was playing today. I've been loving it. We did an EU Cup, Charles.
The
super
EU Cup
fun.
was fire, bro.
It was really fun. So if you guys like Unite, check that out. Battle Hub Unite, they're super awesome. They get me and Charles on there and casting, and we just do it because we love it and it's super fun. Speaking of loving the game, that's why we do it. So yeah. Anyway, I'm excited. Sorry, I got on a tangent there. Watch the Throne. Very, very fucking excited to see both of you. I wish Marcus was going. I wish Chris was going. Again, I'll make it this time. But I'm happy to see everyone there. Happy to see the competition. Charles, what are you most excited for?
There's a lot of, bracket-wise, I'm most excited to see how Bloom does. Again, I'm a big Bayo fan. Been spamming about Bayo. Talked about Lima today. Talked about Bloom today. In terms of the bracket, I want to see how Lima fares. I know Lima hasn't had, or not Lima, Bloom. I know Bloom hasn't been getting the same results that he was getting like more towards the first half of the year at this tail end of the year, right? So they're, his results are dropping off a little bit compared to that, but I still think Bloom can do very well at this event, and I just want to see Bayonetta play against all these different matchups. So really excited for that in the bracket. And then in terms of content, I'm really excited for the Lights Out Tweek Talks podcast. So we are planning to do that at the end of day one, and it'll be the first time we've ever done a combination podcast. So that one's going to be hype. Well, I know you guys.
And I were
yeah, kind of.
You've been on. Hold on a second.
It's like all at one time.
In person.
I agree.
Yeah,
and
like in person.
Well, Cosmos isn't going to be there.
Right, so it'll be 6, right? 6 people. So
and Marcus.
Oh wait, no, 2 or 5.
I'm 5, yeah. Horrible. Yeah. Us three, and then
it'll be fun.
Phil in Paris, yeah, and we'll have a bunch of people come up and do whatever. So it'll be that is a good call, man. I wanted to do a crew battle, Tweek Talks versus Lights Out.
Remember at Summit in the ball pit?
The ball pit.
Light and I were just like talking about Steve, and like we just didn't know anything.
That was fun. That was really fun.
Yeah, that was actually amazing.
Mikey from Summit pitched that to me. He's like, let's do Tweek Talks. What do you think about doing it in a ball pit? I was like, I don't know why I'd say no to this, but I don't know why I'd say yes to this either. But yeah, let's do it.
Mikey is like cool. Amazing. Mikey,
I love that guy so much. Smash Camp, man. I wish we had something like that for Ultimate. That sounds so cool.
I wanted to thank B for all the help she's done with the event as well.
Amazing art. Let's go.
Sure.
She's doing the poster coming up too.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
She might be done right now or close to it.
Nice.
It shows B.
Please support the merch if you can. I appreciate that.
Yep.
And also, just I think that's where we're going to wrap it up. I really appreciate everyone watching the show. We're all excited for this weekend. Lots of good Smash Bros lately and upcoming. And yeah, thanks for watching and have a good day.